AFA Today. Glad you're with us. Kevin McCullough, glad to be with you from our normal offices and studios in New York City. And we're coming to you today at the behest and at the defense of the World War II veterans that are being exploited. That's my word, my opinion. They are being exploited in the current crisis with the shutdown, because the president is saying that they have to shut them down. And by the way, for those of you that have doubted, well, was it really the president that ordered it, or was it some bureaucrat that did it? Nope. We had someone come out this morning, spokesman for the National Park Service, told the press directly that they were instructed to barricade the World War II memorial by the White House. So that's it. The National Park Service is saying that they were instructed directly from the White House, and this has hit Twitter, and Stephen Hayes of Fox News, World War II Memorial, Carol Johnson with the Park Service says they were told to close the site. Kathleen McKinley, the White House Office of Management and Budget, ordered the closing of the World War II Memorial. It's taking off through the whole Twitter universe. There was one quote here that I really thought was quite profound. Somebody named Eric H. on Twitter said, "Only President Obama would think that the World War II memorial needs to be protected from World War II veterans." That summarizes the statement in a pretty explicit way, does it not? Let's go back to your thoughts. I want to know your reaction. This is your memorial. Your tax dollars paid for it. The veterans that are going there to see it protected you, your family. They granted you your freedom. And the people that work for us in Washington, D.C. are trying to tell them that they cannot do what you would probably want them to do. How do you feel about that? Your employees are getting belligerent, and they're saying to you, the boss, to get out of their way. What do you think about that? Let's talk to Jeff in Louisiana. Hi, Jeff. You're on with Kevin McCullough on AFA Today.
Hey, Kevin. I think you've already raised one of the points that I wanted to make. Thank you for having me on.
Sure.
I just wanted to say that, if you'd gone to the website for the World War II Museum before this event, the museum's open to the public 24/7.
Right.
The police are only there for a few hours, a day, but there's all kinds of time when anybody in the whole world can just walk straight up to that memorial. So they had to deliberately barricade this thing off to prevent those veterans from going there, and I just think that's criminal. It's just a shame, and it's unbelievable to me that they would think that that's appropriate or even effective as some kind of a PR stunt.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
It's beyond that, Jeff. It hurts. It hurts the underbelly of my gut. There's a piece of me that's in physical pain because of the dishonor this is showing to the people that we owe so much to.
Well, it's really true. I mean, the greatest generation that fought to save us from the Nazis and everything else, and like you.
And
were
this
saying,
is their thanks. Many of them, this will be the only time they get to come, and this is what they get as a way of thank you.
That's exactly right, and that's it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Can't believe they could do it.
Marty, Jeff, thanks for your call. Let's talk to Marty, who's calling us from Texas. And if you want to get in on the discussion about the World War II vets being denied access to the World War II Memorial, the number is 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. Marty in Texas, you're up next. Hi.
Hey, how's it going there, man?
Good. Appreciate you being here.
I don't know where you're getting your information from, but my grandfather was there. He's from Iowa. And I talked to him last night. I had the pleasure of speaking to him about it. And from what I heard from his mouth was the people that worked there helped them take down the barriers so they could get through to see it. So I'm not sure who you're hearing what from, but from what he told me, there was barriers there, but they took them down. And the people
there were congressional, just so that you're clear, Marty, there were congressional aides for a couple of the congressmen's office that were hosting the flight, and it was the congressional staff that helped them remove the barricades. It wasn't the National Park Service staff.
Well, I don't know who it was, but it was people that was there at the place. There was people there, not just the ones he came with. There was a whole bunch of different people that helped, man. So are you saying that this is all for naught? That they've not been dishonored or disrespected in any way? Oh man, the disrespect that is happening it isn't actually happening at the ground level. It's happening up higher. There, the people understand. Listen, you show up someplace, if you got some veterans there, what kind of human being is going to say, no, you can't come in here? Man, I don't care who told me what to do. I don't care if I lose my job over it.
Well, that's what they did. They
everybody else would give a shit either. They're going to...
Hey, come on. Hey, Marty, come on. You know that this is a family-friendly network, and that's uncalled for. You can't use language like that on the air. No, doesn't work. And also casts into great suspicion everything else you just told me. 888-589-8840. Let's talk to Grace in Michigan. Grace, welcome. You're on with Kevin McCullough on AFA Today. Grace, are you there?
Hello, yes, I'm here.
Yeah. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure thing.
I have to say, first of all, I am a Christian. I am a military wife. My husband served 30 years in the Navy. I'm a registered nurse.
Thank you for his service.
Republican. Thank you.
Thank you for his service.
Former Republican. And I have to say, I feel no disrespect. I feel no disrespect that the veterans, unfortunately, they are not able to maybe have the access that they thought they would have, but I believe they are, that the memorial is accessible to them. I think that this is no more than a ploy to just further denigrate the president.
Grace, hold on. I'm looking at dozens of news reports with pictures from the National Park Service spokesperson this morning on day 2, speaking to the press, and the quote that everyone is quoting her on is saying that they were told to put up barricades and to prevent people from visiting the World War II memorial. So you're calling into question the facts, and you're welcome to your opinion, but you're not welcome to alternate facts. Facts are facts. And the White House instructed the National Park Service to use barricades to close it.
Yes. I'm not questioning the facts, but I'm just stating a fact that I believe, just like a previous caller said, the president is despicable. Yet, out of the next word out of her mouth, oh, but we have to pray for him. That is not Christianity. Christianity says that no corrupt communication should proceed out of your mouth, that you ought to pray for your leaders. And I think this is just another attempt. I don't see how anybody can see this as nothing more than the Republicans closing the government down. I don't
Grace,
see how they could blame the president.
There's no elected Republican in power that has the ability to close that memorial. There's not a single one that has the power to do that. That was expressly a decision from the White House.
No, I'm talking about the government in general, the government at large. I'm not talking about this specific.
But the shutdown, that's the problem here, Grace. The shutdown has no impact on the use of the memorial. There's no money being spent. There's no security that's normally there. It is a wide open place where people can come and go as they wish freely all the time.
Well, if people really believe that the common person, that I feel, common everyday person, sees this as something against Obama, you are barking up the wrong tree.
I'm not.
This is the Republican
Grace, you've misunderstood me. I'm not trying to convince you of anything about being for or against anyone. What I'm saying is, and I'm not talking about the shutdown. What I'm talking about is how can you take World War II veterans that have come from across the country who want to come and see the memorial that was erected in their honor and turn them away? How can anybody live with that?
People in my family who fought in World War II, and when they came home, they still had to go in colored-only bathrooms. Was there this outrage from radio shows and people at large then?
And well, there was no talk radio in the 40s, but yes, that was deeply immoral, and it would have been something that we would have held to the same standard today. We would say today that is immoral and it is ungodly and it is unbiblical. Absolutely, Christians would have said that.
Allow your callers to talk about the president in such low terms that they do without any comment from you is also disrespectful to the office in general, no matter who's sat in the
Grace,
office.
hold on. How can I control what listeners think? My option.
You didn't comment when the woman said, "I just think he is just despicable." He's just despicable.
Grace, I can't control what she feels, and talk radio allows people to express their feelings. As, by the way, I've now allowed you to for about 4.5 minutes. And what we're doing here is having a discussion.
Say, you know what, I just believe we should not stoop to that level when we refer to the office of the President of the United States. You can also say that as a host.
Well,
you can disagree without being ugly. Because
I wasn't ugly towards the president. What I said is that we do indeed need to pray for him every day, as I do. Yes, but it's hard to pray for somebody that I don't believe you can pray for somebody after you just called them despicable. I didn't call them despicable.
I know you didn't, but I believe people see him as not fit and not worthy to be in that office, period.
That may be, Grace, that's a legitimate opinion that people may hold.
And I have a legitimate opinion as a registered nurse that every person in the United States has a right to see a doctor if they have a life-threatening illness. If they have a toothache, they ought to be able to.
They already do, Grace. They already do.
No, they
already do. Yeah, they do. There's no one.
Not true.
Grace, okay. Thank you. Thank you for the call. Thank you. Here's the problem. Again, opinions are welcomed. Facts are set. Previous to Obamacare, no one is ever turned away from an emergency room. And in that process, we spend less money taking care of everyone's medical needs than we will the first day that Obamacare is fully implemented. This is not a more efficient system. The actuaries have looked at it, not Republican actuaries. The people that work for Medicare and Medicaid, the ones that actually work for the government that have to rate these programs, they have looked at the expenses. And they are saying that it is going to be unbelievably more expensive than anybody ever thought. More than $621 billion over the course of a few years. More expensive than what it was originally told. There's no one that's denied medical care now. There's no one that's denied medical process now. It may not be the most efficient way, and it may be a way in which sometimes emergency rooms don't get paid, but we don't turn people away that are in medical need. And Grace, I understand you're angry at the people that disagree with your president. And so we gave you 6.5 minutes to be able to express that opinion. But I can't tell someone else that they're not allowed to feel a certain way. I don't have any say over how people feel. I can't tell you to change the way you feel. I can't tell the woman before you to change the way she feels. All I can say is, here's the facts. What do you think? Here's what I think. And here's what I think. I think that we've got too much vested in the whole Republican-Democrat thing. I think we've got way too much capital invested in dying on hills for parties. I think what we need to do is obliterate confusion at every turn. Pull the things out that are not as they seem and explain why. Obliterate that confusion. Replace that confusion with biblical truth. In all things, Grace, in all things. You may be mad at your sister who's going to go to heaven someday and see you there. You may be mad at her all you want to, but you can't say things that are dishonest about what she says, and she can't say the same thing about you. That's then going to the level of dishonor. And if someone feels like the actions of the president are despicable, I don't remember a lot of people biting their tongue when they felt that way about George Bush. I'm not saying that we should speak that way. I try not to. I try to go out of my way to make sure that the differences that I have with the president are purely based on his policies. And if you've read any of my 3 books, I was very express in that desire in those as well. But we're not going to please everyone. And Grace, truth matters. We have to speak truth. And I believe that we should pray for our leaders, whether they're people that we agree with or don't. And the more that we disagree with them, the more we should pray for them. And the more I'm trying to on a personal and daily basis. I try to actually spend a dedicated amount of time, and I'm trying to lengthen that on a daily basis, that I spend in prayer for the president. It is hard. There are things about his leadership that I have seen to be untruthful, that the facts have shown since about the middle of February. I wasn't a conspiracy guy then. I still don't think that I'm a conspiracy guy now, but if you have a history of not speaking truth, then when you get to a crisis where you need a lot of capital of people to believe you, you may have used that up if you have consistently not told the truth. And that's part of what the president's up against right now. And why you send mounted police to the World War II memorial makes no sense to me. It's not part of the debate about medical care. It's not part of the debate about government shutdown. There's no government resources used for it. Very, very little. Maybe a little bit of electricity at night when they're turning out the lights. That's about it. 888-589-8840. Let's talk to Haywood calling from Alabama. Haywood, welcome. You're on with Kevin McCullough on AFA Today. Hi.
Yes, Kevin. This is an example of the division going on in America right now. This division comes straight out of the White House. It was meant to happen. American people need to, like you said, the truth and the facts are utmost importance. And at this particular time in American history, when we are so divided that a president would send armed and mounted people to keep veterans from a memorial that was put up in their honor, I would say to Grace and to all the others, I pray for them every day. I pray for the president every day. I'm a Christian first, veteran. I'm a family man. I love this country. And before it falls apart, they should understand the word despicable. Despicable comes a report.
Haywood, I've got to let you go because we're short on time, but I understand the point you're trying to make. Kevin McCullough, glad to be with you. And if you're watching on the AFA channel, some shots that I took personally at the World War II Memorial just a couple of years ago. We should not be keeping our World War II veterans out of here. It's just not the right thing to do. Kevin McCullough, we'll see you next time here on AFA Today. Have a great day.